Welcome to the Power of Artificial Intelligence. This is AI Podcast. Are you ready? Let's go.
Okay, so we're diving into something that feels like it's exploding everywhere you look these days, generative AI.
Yeah, it's everywhere right now.
You sent over some really interesting stuff, especially this piece, Black and Alcon.
Mm-hmm.
It really seems to get into how this tech could totally change, well, everything. And I'm really curious to get into it with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This source really nails the whole conversation around generative AI right now. You know, like it highlights that huge potential and does a good job, I think, of laying out the excitement, but also the worries surrounding it.
Totally. It's not every day a technology comes along that might actually reshape so much of how we live and work. And speaking of reshaping things, one of the things that really stood out to me in this piece was how it talks about generative AI's potential in creative fields.
Definitely. Imagine, like, anyone, even if they're not a creative type, could make their own music that fits their mood perfectly, you know? Or, like, generate a picture from a dream they had.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
wild to even think about.
Yeah.
And this source goes even further, saying generative AI could be used not just for art, but for writing code, doing those complex science simulations, even like personalized education. That changes everything for so many industries.
Right. I mean, think about it. Instead of a developer having to write lines of code, they could just tell a generative AI what they need, and it does the work. Architects could use it to rapidly prototype and explore countless building designs much faster.
It's like we all have superpowers.
Right.
But with all this talk of efficiency and automation, it's hard not to think about people's jobs. The source mentions that anxiety about jobs being replaced. Is that something we should actually be worried about?
It's a valid concern for sure, but it might be better to think of it as things shifting rather than jobs just disappearing. Some tasks will probably become automated, yeah, but many jobs will just change. They'll start incorporating AI as a tool to help people do their jobs better.
Augmentation, right, like AI working with us, not against us.
Exactly. Think about it. Instead of, say, a radiologist spending hours looking at x-rays, AI could highlight potential issues so they can focus on diagnosing and treating patients faster and better. It's about AI and humans working together, not replacing one another.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's about learning to work with the tech as it evolves.
Definitely.
But speaking of evolving, the source also talks about access and how this tech could lead to more inequality. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's a huge point. Will everyone even get a chance to use this technology? Or will just make the gap between the haves and have-nots even bigger? Those are things we have to address now to make sure everyone benefits in this AI-powered future.
You're right. It's not just about the tech itself, but if it's actually fair for everyone. Which reminds me, this source also mentions the whole ethical side of generative AI. Copyright, for instance. Like, if AI can make art as good as a person, who owns it?
Yeah, that's a question courts are trying to figure out right now. Is it the person who made the AI, the one who told it what to do, or something else entirely? It's really complicated, and we might need new laws to deal with it.
It's like a whole new world, the tech and all the ethical questions that come with it.
Exactly. And with powerful technology, we have to make sure we're using it the right way so that it benefits everybody.
Well said. As we wrap up our deep dive into generative AI, there's one question I keep coming back to. If a machine can create something beautiful, like music or art, does that make human creativity less special? Or does it change how we think about creativity altogether? It's something to think about as we head into this uncertain but exciting future with AI.
Definitely something to think about.